Hello, this is Tom, or Tom Monica, or Tom Monica Comics, as you may see me online, and today I'm going to draw and ramble. This is a first well, I say first try. I've done about 6 of these recordings, where I've just been incapable of acting like a normal human being. So today we're gonna give it another go, and hopefully I can edit this enough to look and sound semi-normal. So today I am on Clip Studio Paint and we are drawing a redraw of an Andrew Minyard drawing I did, a couple of years ago now, I think. I have redrawn this since, but I've not uploaded it, just because it looked okay, but I wasn't totally happy with it and how it was looking and the colouring and the composition and everything, so I'm giving it another go. And seeing how we go, because Andrew is very special. I feel like I can't just half-ass an Andrew Minyard drawing. He's too important for this. For those of you who aren't familiar with the character, Andrew Minyard is a character from the All for the Game series, otherwise known as the Foxhole Court series. It's a series that I struggle to explain to people when I'm trying to suggest a book to them. Because when you try and explain the plot of these books to people, it sounds like the corniest, trashiest series, and I suppose it's not, but it's one of those. Again, for people who aren't aware, let's try and sell people on the Awful Game series. It is a sports drama, queer characters, also mafia, yakuza, shenanigans, lots of trauma, it's a sports drama. It's a sports drama with the mafia and violence and the gays. It's pretty good fun. It's pretty good fun. I am a big fan. I was introduced to it by a friend, and the first book took me a little while to get into. Not necessarily that I wasn't enjoying it, but it was just like, okay, let's keep going and see if this gets, not if this gets interesting, but you know what I mean? Of like, I'm not obsessed with it, but I'm willing to try more. And then the second book hit, and I'm convinced that Nora Sarkovic has some sort of crack cocaine in those second and third books. It did something to my brain chemistry, and I had a whole phase of just nothing but All for the Game, and it was quite fun. But yes, would highly recommend. Definitely check the trigger warnings. I won't go over all the trigger warnings on here, but if it is a series that you have seen and you're interested in trying, please do check the trigger warnings, because there is some stuff. Even myself, as a enjoyer of extreme media, and particularly like horror books, books that challenge boundaries and things, even there was some scenes where I was like, oof, this is a lot. So yeah, please do be aware of that if you're interested in reading. However, if you are like me and you're a little bit masochistic with it, would highly recommend. They are very, very fun books. I also I've read a little bit of the 4th book. I need to properly engage with the Sunshine Court. I've read a little bit of it, and I now also have the Golden Raven on audiobook. I struggle. I really, really enjoy reading physically, but I do struggle with it a lot, attention-wise. If I'm really invested in the story of something, having the audiobook for said media is very, very helpful to me. I've just kind of started drawing as I've been talking. I don't know. I feel like I need to prescribe some level of commentary to my drawings, but at the same time, I'm just kind of doing things. I don't know. Obviously, I already laid out the sketch here, and I'm planning on having this be primarily covering the inking process, and then maybe I will either continue to talk through the colouring process, or I'll just kind of speed through the colouring process, and you guys can see it time-lapsed. Because I tend to be very, very pernickety with my colouring. I really struggle to find colours that I'm happy with. I spend a lot of time back and forth working on the colours that I use. I think part of it is a perfectionist thing, and part of it is just, I think I struggle with that natural inclination towards colour. Well, maybe, I don't know, again, maybe that's a bit of self-doubt, but I spend a lot more time wrapped up on the colour than I do the actual lines. If I just did everything just line work, I'd be pumping out like 5 or 6 drawings per day. I've been on quite a big reading kick recently, actually, on the topic of Wolf of the Game and things like that. I recently finished a romance book I was a little bit obsessed with. I need to, what is the name? It is Crash Test by, I forget her name, but I will find it and I'll put a little image up on screen of the book I'm referring to. It is phenomenal. I was very obsessed with it. It is an F1, again, sports drama, kind of queer romance. I never initially intended to have sports drama as such a known series in my library, but it's kind of wiggled its way in. I think Haikyuu was a gateway drug, and now this is just what my life consists of. So we'll go for that. But yes, Crash Test. It's a very, very cool sports drama romance, and I call it romance, but I think the thing that I really liked about it is that the actual, like, sappy, like, if you're going into the book for cute sappy scenes and romantic fluff, then you're going to get a little bit of it, but you might be a little disappointed because that's not the main focus. The opening of the book is where basically one of these drivers who have been in a kind of secret year-long relationship gets in a near fatal crash on track, and the first big chunk of the book is following the driver who did not get in the crash, reflecting on their relationship thus far and navigating, not necessarily internalized, maybe a little bit of internalized homophobia, but primarily just public perception and their relationship. And it's like an actual novel version of the X character gets therapy tag on fanfiction. It's amazing. The main character gets therapy, gets friends, found family. It's very cute, and then they do end up together at the end. Is that a spoiler? Is that, yeah? They end up together at the end. That's things that I like to know. They do in fact end up together. So if that is a concern, don't worry. They do. You're not going to be left hanging. Although honestly, as someone who is very much the sappy romantic, who will get upset at characters not ending up together, I actually, with how it's written, would have been happy if they didn't. Obviously, I am happy that they did get back together and everything, but the story is cohesive enough for me that I feel like the personal growth the characters faced from the time that they weren't physically together would have been a cohesive story enough in of itself for me. I feel like that element of the story was incredibly well done, and I genuinely nearly cried a couple of times, so would highly, highly, highly recommend. I'm trying to think. This is just going to turn into a queer books episode, because why not? Because we're doing All for the Game. So what have we covered? We've covered All for the Game, which is queer sports drama with mafia in it. Crash Test, which is queer sports drama F1. What else have I got in my queer book vocabulary? Oh, yes. The book that quite a few others and myself are obsessed with is All That's Left in the World by... I have someone very dear to me that is going to be very angry that I've forgotten the name of the author. But again, similar to Crash Test, I'll put it up on screen. It is just such a... I don't think since I've ever gotten so viscerally angry at a main character. Not because of poor writing or anything like that. Just with how I'm a sucker for an unreliable narrator. And this book is dual POV, and it covers these two people in this post-apocalyptic kind of situation who end up relying on each other and end up falling a little bit in love. Very in love. They're in love from some of the first chapters, but it takes until like the end of the book for them to get together. So on that front, if you're not big on the notion of slow burn, you may struggle a little bit. That is the bit that I'm referring to when I say I've never gotten so viscerally angry at a character. These two are so very much in love with each other, but are incredibly awkward about it and refuse to kind of acknowledge it properly or accept that the other might actually be interested in them until the last couple of chapters. But when it does happen, it's very cute and it feels very warranted. And yeah, would highly, 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 highly recommend All That's Left in the World and its sequel, and another book that the author has released recently that I do need to take a look at because it looks phenomenal. It's a bit more on the spooky side of things from what I can recall from what I've seen. But yes, absolutely. No, that's not how you want this to look. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal books. Would highly, highly recommend. Even if you're not particularly interested in queer romance, I think, well, why are you on my social media if you're not interested in queer romance? That's kind of the thing that I do. But it's a lovely book. It's amazing. So I am nearly done. I don't usually do this, but I've tried this out for this drawing of almost creating these little blocks where I'd want the letters to be instead of just physically sketching out letters, because I feel like that's helped me space a little bit better. I have the original drawing I did up for reference on this side. This was, I think this was like 2 odd years ago now, which is crazy to think how long I've had this social media up and running. I did post this initially as soon as I drew it because I was quite happy with it, and I still think it's very good. But I like going back through and redrawing things that I did a few weeks ago, because I feel like art is such a constantly evolving and expressive thing that it's quite important to stay updated with yourself, particularly in terms of imposter syndrome, where you really struggle to find confidence in yourself as an artist, and being like, you know what, I have improved. I look between these two images and I feel a lot more confident in my lines. I feel a lot more confident in my composition. Composition is something particularly that I've been working on a lot, which has been very helpful in making my art feel more polished. I feel like a lot of artists, both beginner, intermediate, and professional, will sometimes struggle if they're quite character focused with just the character in a blank space. We don't like drawing backgrounds, unless you do like drawing backgrounds, and that's amazing for you. But a lot of people very much struggle with drawing backgrounds. So I've had to find a love for not even just backgrounds in particular, but just composition as an element in art, because it is so important, and I feel like it's one that gets overlooked a lot, where you just draw the thing on the page without actually thinking about the overarching shape of the page itself, particularly in comics, where I'm trying to get into. You don't quite realise it, but those panels quite often have such a specific intention behind them. I did a small course thing recently that went over some of these things, and it's amazing how much storytelling you can put in just blank panels themselves. There's such a level of communication with it that is so subtle. The things that, as a readers probably won't notice, but will still be impactful. That I just find very, very cool. I like that in composition, I like that in colour. The little things that people won't notice, but is still effective. And I think that's how you know you've done something very effective, particularly in effects, is if people don't notice you're trying to do something, but you still do it anyway. That Y is nowhere near the rest of the word. Let's adjust that. This is the perks of, this is the only thing that I'll kind of give to that digital art is cheating a little bit, because like, hello. The notion of being able to just pick up and squish and adjust lettering is very, 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 very handy. The amount of my physical drawings that I do in sketchbooks that get scribbled over, or a post-it note or a sticker on top of them, just because they did not turn out how I intended to, and they're properly on the wonk, and I just do not like the look of. But digital art does give me the privilege to be able to adjust and squidge and undo and keep everything on nice tidy layers in order to... Oh, should we go over the layers? I feel like that's an interesting thing to do. Let's go over the strange little layers I have over here. So obviously what I'm working on right now is a line art layer. I don't usually use tons of crazy layers. I do like to try and keep myself fairly restricted in layer usage. But the reason I have these layers just here is through my, again, composition development process, where I was thinking about, okay, how am I going to lay this out so it looks a little more interesting than just a character in the middle of the page? How do I make the silhouette read better? How do I, etc., etc. So I tried to go with a vague, medium, small, big shapes kind of composition, and then flesh that out into what that could potentially look like. This was initially more so on the actual thing, and I adjusted it about a bit. And then I was like, okay, I like the general look of this image I'm going for, but this doesn't look like an actual thing. It looks very stiff. So I took a reference photo of myself, which is always a very cringy experience. Thank God that those go nowhere. And I used that to develop a sketch. And now that sketch is the one that I am working off of with my inks. Yeah, I quite like going through a multi-layered sketch process. Sometimes I like to try and be as quick as possible with the sketch process, but when I have the time to mess around for a little bit, I quite like doing a multi-sketch process. Because I feel like inevitably, by giving yourself that... I'm not sure how to describe it, it's almost having the image in your brain and then recreating it in the most blurry, nondescript way possible, like this. Because this was based off of a general idea in my brain, and then I fleshed out a bit more of this is the kind of way I want it to look. And then I took a reference image so I could see what that would actually look like in real life in terms of how a human body works, and that's how I got to my final result. And through doing that, I had so much more confidence in what I was actually trying to draw than I would if I just tried to do a quick sketch, but that had little to no actual direction to it. So it entirely depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your sketch process. I'll flip between different things. Do I want these O's to be wider? I might do these O's a bit wider. See how that looks. How that looks. How convenient. Why did I look like boobs? Yeah, no, I think I'll stick to... Speaking of people that... Speaking of boobs, people that have seen my recent social media post, for those of you who don't know, by the evident queerness of my accounts, I am a trans man, and I've recently had a pre-op appointment to have the top surgery organised, which is very, very, very exciting. I'm super hyped for it, but I'm also very anxious because I have been waiting, and it's going to sound extremely worse, first world problems, when I say I've been waiting for 2 weeks for a phone call, when I've been waiting overall about 10 years for the actual thing to happen. But it's when it's so close, it feels so much longer than the actual waiting that's happened so far itself. So I've been, as I did in the little doodle, anxiously waiting by my mobile phone. I literally have it next to me now. I have it on silent so it doesn't interrupt the recording, but it is there, and I will be able to look over at it if it does start ringing. And sorry, but I will immediately drop this recording to answer it because I need these things off, particularly in the summer. I would very much like to not have to layer where I can't bind. It's interesting that that's the thing. I believe it's for skin elasticity so they can get the best potential results. So yes, that's something I'm having to deal with. It's quite funny, the information they give you that even I wasn't totally aware of, with all the videos and content creators that I've watched who are trans men. For any of you that are particularly interested, I will have to sleep upright for a fair while. I joked with my friends about getting a coffin where I can sleep like the Vampire Lestat style, kind of upright Dracula amazingness, But we'll see. We'll see whether I actually go through with that. Primarily, it's just going to be propping up on top of pillows to make sure I don't end up particularly squishing my torso after the surgery. There was also some interesting the graft for it's. I hate censorship sometimes because I'm not sure. This is educational purposes, right? So I can use biological terms. A nipple isn't even that much of a biological term. The notion of that rejecting is quite funny. I have the full intention that if they do, even if they don't reject, where I'm getting a double mastectomy, so I'm having to have a nipple graft as well. Even if they don't reject, I've had the idea of going to a tattoo artist and getting, I don't know how familiar you folks are with your birds, but getting tattoos of two great tit birds on my chest, because I think that would be a little bit funny, and it's my body, so I can turn it into a big joke if I would like to, because it makes me feel better about myself. I like not taking myself too seriously, and I think that sounds like a very fun thing that will bring people joy, which is overall what I want to do with my life. How long have I been rambling for now? A fair while. A lot of it I'm going to have to cut out because I've been umming and ahhing. I've had people enter through the house. How is this looking without the sketch? I'm going to adjust the angle of those words just a little bit because they're getting a little close to the hand and the cigarette over here. So if I pop it up, maybe like like that. Yeah, I can work with that. Phenomenal. Okie dokie. I might leave the voiceover here, and I might do a little speed on top of it. Not doing speed during Pride Month. I do a time-lapse, that's the word I'm looking for. Time-lapse over this, going over it. I don't know if this was entertaining. I know that sometimes I just like to listen to people ramble in the background of the things that I do with my life. So if people do enjoy this, I am more than willing to continue it. Even if I don't enjoy this, I might continue with it just to get myself used to speaking at a kind of public zone. But yes, if you have listened this far to me, thank you so much for watching and engaging. And yeah. Okay, I'm going back and forth on it. I kind of got a bit carried away with the smoke, but honestly, I'm not mad at this. I'm pretty okay. It makes me realise my work has gotten a lot softer, but I've also like do you know what might help? If I adjust the colour of the line art? Sometimes that maybe yeah, that works. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I think it looks okay. I think it looks pretty neat. But yes, thank you so much for watching. If you guys made it all the way through this, congratulations, because I have no idea how interesting this is going to be. So, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you